The day Mike's lifelong collection of cars went up for auction, it felt like his world was crumbling. 40 years of chasing rusted dreams, gone in a single day. Fans watched the finale of his show, hearts heavy, thinking it was the end of an era for the king of junkyards. But then something unexpected happened. New episodes started airing. Mike was back, wrench in hand, breathing life into old metal. How does a man who lost everything keep his passion alive? The answer lies in a story most never saw coming. A tale of grit, love, and an unbreakable bond with forgotten machines. Born in the late 1950s in a quiet corner of Canada, Mike grew up in a world of wide-open spaces. His family moved west to British Columbia when he was young, settling in a rugged town where fields stretched forever. That's where it all began. As a kid, while others played with toys or chased trends, Mike was drawn to something different: abandoned cars. Not sleek, shiny models, but beaten-up relics rusting in barns or sinking into the earth. By his teens, he was scouring back roads, sneaking into overgrown lots, hunting for wrecks he could save. To him, they weren't junk. They were stories waiting to be told. While his friends saved for records or bikes, Mike dragged home hulks of steel no one else wanted. Neighbors raised eyebrows, but he didn't care. Each car was a challenge, a chance to turn rust into revival. By his 20s, he'd amassed dozens of vehicles, storing them wherever he could find space. He wasn't chasing profit or prestige. He was chasing potential. No trade school, no fancy degrees, just hands-on grit. Every broken engine taught him something new. Every late night in a freezing garage honed his craft. His knuckles bled, but his skill grew. Mike wasn't just fixing cars. He was building a life. His day job was as wild as his passion. In the 1980s, Mike carved out a living in a dangerous trade, blasting cliffs for construction, hanging off ropes, drilling into rock, setting off explosions that echoed through the mountains. He thrived on the rush. They called him the Rasta Blasta, a nod to his wild hair and bolder spirit. The work paid well, but Mike didn't save his cash. He poured it into his obsession, buying more forgotten cars. Rusted out muscle cars, battered pickups, European relics that hadn't run in decades. He wanted them all. If a car had a soul, he couldn't let it go to the scrapyard. By the 2000s, his collection was staggering. Over 400 cars spread across his land like a metal sea. Some were rare classics, others barely held together, but to Mike, everyone mattered. He'd joke that he didn't collect cars, he collected rust. His crew, a ragtag group of mechanics and dreamers, shared his mission. They weren't in it for money. They were saving history, one bolt at a time. To outsiders, it looked like madness. To Mike, it was purpose. He once said he couldn't walk away from a car that needed him. It was like they called his name. But how long could he keep this up? The weight of his dream was starting to show. If this story of passion and grit moves you, please share it. It's a reminder that some dreams are worth fighting for. Mike's life wasn't just cars. He'd settled on a quiet farm with his wife and son, far from the spotlight. His little dog, always by his side, was part of the family. But his obsession caused tension at home. His wife drew a line. No more cars on their land. So Mike found a new Spadafaveka lot nearby, a sunburnt field that became his kingdom. Hundreds of cars, from 1940s relics to 1970s beaters, filled the space. To him, it was a canvas of possibilities. By day, Mike blasted rock for highways. By night, he was a mad scientist, coaxing life from rusted frames. He didn't care if no one saw. He wasn't chasing film, just the hum of an engine firing up. Then, in 2016, fate stepped in. A rock slide blocked a major highway, and Mike was called to clear it. A film crew shooting a documentary caught him in action scaling cliffs, setting charges, fearless. His wild energy and untamed hair stole the scene. That brief cameo changed everything. People wanted to know more about the guy with the crazy car collection. Soon, his field of rust became a legend. News spread about the man with over 500 cars, each with a story he could recite by heart. He knew every make, model, and year. Some cars had been with him for decades, like old friends, but the dream was getting heavy. Storing 500 cars wasn't just about space, it costs money, time, and energy. Neighbors whispered. Officials started poking around. And Mike, now in his 60s, felt age creeping in. He'd seen friends leave behind chaos when they passed. His own father died at 60, and that number loomed large. What would happen to his cars if he was gone? The question gnawed at him. In 2016, Mike made a gut-wrenching call. He put it all up for sale to land. The cars, the whole dream, for $1.19 million. To most, it sounded absurd. Who'd buy a field of junk? No serious offers came. So, in 2017, he doubled down, raising the price to $1.45 million. The move backfired, so it seemed. The story went viral. News outlets ran wild with it. Photos of his rust-covered kingdom spread across Canada. Mike wasn't just a local oddity anymore. He was a phenomena car lovers called wanting single vehicles. Then TV producers came knocking. A producer who'd seen Mike's cameo pitched a show, but Mike had conditions. It couldn't just be about the mess. It had to be about the dream, restoring cars, bringing them back to life. In 2018, cameras rolled on a show that captured his world. Mike built a workshop in his field, surrounded by mountains of rust. He called it his restoration haven, with his best friend, a burly mechanic with a sharp wit, and his son, a level-headed realist. Mike formed a crew of misfits. They weren't chasing TV glamour. They were saving cars the world had forgotten. The show hit the air in 2018 and struck a chord. Viewers fell for Mike's big heart and reckless optimism. He wasn't a polished businessman. He was a dreamer who spent too much and loved too hard. He'd sink thousands into a car only to sell it at a loss because he liked the buyer. His son tried to rein him in, but Mike's passion always won. The show wasn't about slick reveals or big budgets. It was about real people, real struggles, and a love for cars that went deeper than money. Soon, it went global, streaming to fans worldwide. People traveled to see Mike's field, hoping to meet the man himself. But behind the scenes, cracks were forming. Running the shop bled money. Mike paid for parts, salaries, everything, often out of pocket. He admitted he had no real business plan. Friends joked about his spending, but by 2020, it wasn't funny. He was tired. Health worries crept in, years of paint fumes and cliff climbing had taken a toll. Then came a bombshell. His land was zoned for farming, not a car shop. Authorities, who'd long ignored it, cracked down when he built a new workshop. He needed special permission to keep going, but in 2023, it was denied. The shop was technically illegal. Wildfires added to the chaos that summer. One spark could torch his collection. The land's new owner, with Mike now just a tenant, scrambled for fixes. They tried rezoning a smaller parcel, but the stress was crushing. Mike knew what he had to do. In 2021, he planned a no reserve auction. Over 500 cars would go in one day. 40 years of my life gone, he said, voice cracking. Some sold for pennies, others for thousands. Mike didn't care about the money. He just wanted them to find good homes. When it was over, only 50 remained his favorites, too precious to let go. Fans thought it was the end. The auction aired as the show Essa Fina Erin, Nisen Niju, Nia. Tearjerker of an episode. But Mike's story wasn't done. Cars kept finding him. By 2023, he had nearly 200 again. They just show up. He laughed. New episodes were filmed, showing a leaner operation, a smaller shop, fewer cars, same heart. In 2024, the show returned with Mike working on a rare Mustang and an old truck that meant the world to him. Off-screen, he became a mentor, sharing his knowledge at car shows and online, inspiring others to chase their passions. Today, Mike's in his late 60s, still in his quiet town with his wife and dog, his sons by his side, their bond unbreakable. The backyard's clear of rust, to his wife's relief. Mike's not chasing 500 cars anymore. He picks a few projects, does them right, and savors the work. He's a hero too, car lovers, proof that passion can outlast any obstacle. His story isn't just about cars, it's about holding on to what makes you feel alive. If this tale of heart and hustle inspires you, please like, subscribe, and share it. Let's keep Mike's legacy rolling.